Of course, it's very important to look at previous alt seasons when you want to get a picture or get signs whether or not we are going to approach a new alt season or when a new alt season is imminent. And these are just a few tricks how you can quickly spot some signals that could indicate that a alt season of any kind is approaching. So this is the dominance chart for cryptocurrency. And of course, you might have seen that this percentage, at least the dominance of Bitcoin, is shared a lot. And apart from the dominance of Bitcoin expressed in USD, percentage-wise, of course, you also see the bigger altcoins. I think these were generally the top 10 somewhere halfway around 2017. And how can you spot alt seasons from the past? So you want to look at the divergence where the Bitcoin dominance is going down. And of course, when the Bitcoin dominance is going down, it means that the altcoin dominance is increasing at the same time. So let's have a look. First, we can see in the second quarter of 2015, a small altcoin season where Bitcoin was still dominance-wise up in the 80s and altcoin dominance was relatively low, comparatively low. In 2016, there was already a more volatile, intense alt season where you could see the rise or the beginning of the rise of Ethereum. And of course, everybody knows the 2017 alt season that many experienced crypto traders refer to, that already started somewhere in the first quarter of 2017 and lasted all the way through the second quarter. And of course, here the dominance of Bitcoin was dropping significantly, somewhere halfway the 80%, all the way below 40%. And what you can see is that the last alt season that occurred was in December. And you might even want to call this the December pumps instead of the alt season, since the highlight, or let's say the core of this so-called season, lasted maybe 3, max 4 weeks. A lot of lessons can be drawn from this graph, and I will go quickly through them. What it shows immediately that alt seasons or alt cycles, what you will call them, they differ in length and intensity. So the fact that we had a really long and intense and profitable alt season in 2017 doesn't mean that it increases the chances that we would get this as well for 2018 or after. You don't know, right? Of course, what you can also see that before the alt season starts, it tends to show that Bitcoin dominance increases just before the drop. You can see 2015, 2016, 17 as well, and here in at the end of 2017, it showed the same. So it tends to print a local high dominance-wise first before dropping significantly. So that also means that looking at Bitcoin is just as important as keeping an eye on good altcoin setups. Another thing that you can see only looking at the altcoins is that they don't pump or increase simultaneously. So they lag relative to one another. So what you can see is that Ethereum goes first, then you can see Ripple going up and dropping as well significantly, also seemingly triggering another run-up for Ethereum. And in the meantime, you see other altcoins increasing. And what you overall can see is that the total market cap outside the main alts that are listed by CoinMarketCap here in this graph overall increase. And that partly has to do with the fact that they did not really update the altcoins, because so they were still, let's say, the main altcoins of half of 2017. Coins like Cardano are still listed in this white line. So take that into account. So let's have a look at the total market capitalization excluding Bitcoin in US dollar and mark the alt season on this one. And something to take into account is that it's always important to put things in perspective. So here you can see that in between the alt season of, let's say, the second quarter of 2017 and the December pump, it shows that overall market capitalization for altcoins was still increasing. So you might want to conclude that alt season started somewhere in January and lasted all the way up to December. And the value of the altcoins maybe increased, yes, but it had to do with the fact that, of course, Bitcoin was doing a major run-up to the all-time high at the end of 2017. And if you lay the dominance chart on top of this, it would give you the right perspective to put the market capitalization of altcoins into perspective. Yes, here, absolute, alt season. So altcoin value was going up while the dominance of Bitcoin was going down. But here in the meantime, or at least in between those alt seasons, you can see that the value of altcoins were going up dollar-wise, but it had to do mainly with the fact that Bitcoin dominance was rising. In fact, the Bitcoin value, of course, was rising. As you can see, let's say most of the altcoins were showing tremendous decrease in dominance.